and have another one tomorrow. I'm working on a pretty big commercial deal right now, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. And so
That's exciting.
it's
I
a
hope it
you know
closes.
kind of a development type of thing. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's just lots of little things here and there that with the attorneys going back and forth and stuff. So,
We're live, baby.
oh, are we?
We just went live.
Okay. Have another one tomorrow. That's cool.
Okay.
Big commercial deal. Right? I hear my voice. Are you watching the live too?
So
Or
I'm trying to get to the live. That way
okay.
anybody who wants to ask questions can come in and ask questions. I just I just gotta mute it. Okay.
Things here and there that
Wait,
with the attorneys going back and forth and stuff. So
we're live, baby. Oh,
oh,
okay.
are we?
I unlived the wrong, I muted the wrong thing. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. I'm here with Chastin Miles today. Thank you for coming, Chastin. I'm super excited about this.
Of
So I might
course.
be blowing a little bit over here.
You're so silly. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So I asked Chastin yesterday if there was any topic that was off limits, and he said no, we could go in. So we're going to go in. So when I Google Chastin, not a lot of information comes up. Look, he's sweating. He hit his eyebrow. Not a lot of information comes up. So I think I'd like to just go back and just start at the beginning. Where did you grow up?
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in Houston, Texas, actually.
Okay.
So my mom and my brothers, most of my family still lives down there. So Houston and Louisiana, kind of those two places.
Okay. Louisiana, right? Isn't that how
Louisiana, huh?
So how many siblings do you have?
I have two younger brothers, so I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest of three.
I am, and the
Okay.
wisest.
You're the wisest. Well, that's evident.
Thank
That's
you.
definitely evident. So, and I think we had talked a little bit about this as we were setting this up. Like you came from very humble beginnings,
Mm-hmm.
and so now I just want to kind of, do a little spotlighting for anybody who doesn't know Chastin Miles. He's a very, very, very successful real estate agent. Actually, the Founders Group. He's the owner of the Founders Group in Texas. He has a very successful team down there. In fact, in the middle of this pandemic and nightmare, Chastin's actually just expanded his team by adding a few people. He's a published author. He's on several advisory positions, and I believe, I could be wrong, but isn't one of those something to do with Mark Cuban?
It's the Dallas Mavericks. So
Oh, right.
I'm
Oh,
in the A team here.
so the Mavericks. Okay, so you just happen to be on an advisory position for the Mavericks.
Yeah.
And I believe recently featured in Forbes magazine.
Yep. Last month.
Okay, and has a coaching program.
I do.
Did I forget anything? Because
Gosh, Carol, you I'm like, wow, that person has been working hard. Yeah, I know. That's
so
a lot. Yeah.
that is a lot. So can I ask how old are you?
I am how old am I at this point? I'm 31. I'm 31 years old.
Okay, so you're 31. You came out of humble beginnings, and in your 31 little short years on this earth, you've accomplished all of that.
Yeah, I have. I've worked
Congratulations.
very hard for it.
Truly, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I really, I also come from humble beginnings. And the only reason I bring that up is because I know what that narrative sounds like when you're growing up.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at something and you're like, oh, that's beautiful. And they're like, don't waste your time looking at that because that's not for you. Right. That's not in the cards for you. Right.
Yep.
College, who's going to college? You're going to go learn how to wait. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that narrative. At
Yep.
what point in your childhood did you look around and say to yourself, oh, that's in the cards for me? This ain't my life.
Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting that you say that because you would see the fancy cars like the BMWs, and it could be a BMW that was like old as crap, but it was a BMW, and even that seemed just like something we just weren't meant to have, or we could never get. You would see these things in magazines or TV shows, and that's what you thought that they were made for. Like I thought that literally BMWs were made for magazines and TV shows, and if I saw someone driving one, they were probably in a magazine or a TV
On
show.
TV show, right?
And so it wasn't until I actually began to interact with people who actually had those things and had those types of lifestyles. And when I had like an actual conversation, and the conversation could have been basic, but just that person talking to me, I was like, huh, you're actually just a regular person.
Right.
And
There's
it,
nothing magical here.
right, there's nothing magical here. And then you start saying to yourself, well, if he did it or she did it, I can do it too. And I just got to figure out how. And so as more moments like that started happening as I was growing up, and not even when I was younger, like they didn't start happening until high school, really.
Okay.
That's when things started clicking for me. And you mentioned earlier about being so young. It was like when they started clicking, I was young, but I felt like I had wasted so much time not being exposed to that. So
Yeah,
I immediately wanted to rush it along, and make it happen quickly.
I do know.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you went like warp speed at it.
Oh, yeah, I tried, I really did. And I didn't know exactly like what to do. I tried a lot of different things. I was dabbling in any and everything just to try to make a dollar. I was seriously that hustler, any kind of way you want to take that. But I was trying any and everything and just seeing what was gonna pop off, or like what was gonna be the most successful.
Yeah,
And you know, I
yeah.
mean,
What
through
was going to be
trial
that
and
big?
error of a lot of things, now we're here.
And now we're here, right? And now we're here. Now I look at your list of accomplishments, and I'm like, it would make anybody feel like, oh man, I was slacking.
Yeah, well, and I felt that way too. Like I felt that way too. I felt like I was slacking,
Right.
Yeah.
So now you're here. You have this. You've built an empire, right? You just call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you look back, I want to kind of keep gazing back and gazing forward. When you
Yeah.
look back, is there anything you think to yourself, man, I wish I had done that differently?
Yeah, I do. When I started going down this road of entrepreneurship and everything, like I said, I was trying any and everything. So one of the first things that I started with was web designing and learning how to build websites. And like this was back during the time where not a lot of people had websites. They're like they weren't a requirement. They were just kind of coming along, and I was just that bored kid. And instead of me playing video games, I was on the computer. Once we finally got a computer, actually,
Right.
we didn't have one in my household with me and my brothers. My grandmother and grandfather had a computer. So whenever I was over their house, I know how ironic, but my grandparents had a computer. And whenever I was over their house, I was always on the computer and just trying to like figure out stuff. So I started figuring out how to like build websites, and they were just these little templated, drag and drop type of deal, but still it was a website.
It's a website.
And then I started kind of making money from that. I was making money. I was making money doing these little basic websites for other people. Like, Carol, we're talking just like a one page with just a picture on there, and it just had their contact information down there. But still, it was brilliant because they had something on the internet. And
Right.
so I was doing that, and I was charging people. And then in true Chastin fashion, I got bored and stopped that. Then I started doing graphic design. I was learning different graphic design programs, and I actually started to turn this into a graphic design and printing company, to where I was doing the graphics and then I was printing them. It could be greeting cards, stationery, logos, t-shirts. And I was doing that. That was working out very well, and I was making a good amount of money from that. And I got bored with it and stopped it and moved on to the next thing. So the big thing, and this was a huge pattern for me, because either one of those businesses that I started them when I did and when I was doing this as just a gig, if I would have just kept at that,
Yeah.
oh man, they would have taken off to just an insane level, potentially like Uber level, And so the biggest thing that I wish I would have done differently in the past was not give up or not get so bored with something when I thought that it wasn't really anything, you know.
It sounds like once it wasn't challenging anymore, you were over it.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Okay. So that's good advice for anybody who's coming up right now because yeah, you can make it out of humble beginnings and go right to the top. I
Hmm.
think we had a conversation over the last couple of weeks where we know we're Chastin's headed to the 1%ers.
Yeah.
Jason's going to be on jets like loving life up on the, and I'm looking to be there with you.
Yeah. Yeah, for
That's
sure. For sure.
exciting.
Yeah.
So I got my whole little list of questions over here. So
Okay.
I know that I've heard your story about what made you pick real estate, but would you share with everybody who's watching what made you pick real estate?
Sure. Yeah, I didn't come from a real estate background. I didn't grow up around real estate or go to open houses growing up. Literally how I got into real estate was back in college. When I was in college, me and my roommates, we decided that we wanted to look for a place off campus. We were just getting in too much trouble on campus. We were a disturbance. We were doing all kinds of stuff that you're not supposed to do on a college campus. And like we kind of started this like little party ring, to where people were coming over to our dorm or whatever you want to call the place. It was a little bigger than like a dorm, but they were coming over to our place and we were throwing these like awesome parties and we were always getting in trouble. So we decided, hey, we want to move this off campus. So we wanted to look for a rental home. Walking around campus one day, there was this like paper sign taped to a light pole. And it was like off campus rental houses, 3 to 4 bedrooms. Call this number. And they had the little slits, that you
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the bottom
yeah.
of the paper.
Whoever
So
came up with those was genius, by the way.
yeah, exactly. So tore one of those off, called the number, and the lady had us meet her at this address. She was like, "Come to my office. We'll discuss everything." So we got in the car and we went to this office. Turns out this office was a real estate office. I didn't really know anything about real estate, but this was a real estate office. So she's going through the process with us, telling us, showing us stuff, listings on their computer monitor of houses, and we're just sitting. They're like, yeah, we want that one, we want that one. Like we weren't even particular. Like whatever y'all will give us, we want it. Right, right. We could afford that. We were sitting there, scraping up our little. Okay, you're gonna have to pay this much. You're gonna pay this much. So we got in the car with us, and she showed us a couple of houses, and we were ready to like move forward with everything. So during this time, though, I became just like real inquisitive, and so I'm like, for one, this is happening way too easy, so it must be a scam.
Right.
And because we're like kids, and this was an older lady. Um, this must be a scam. Like, is it really this easy? And then the like big third question was like, how much is this going to cost us? As far
That's
as
a
like,
big question, right?
yeah, for you doing this, like, how
Mhm.
much are we gonna have to pay you? And she was like, you don't have to pay me anything. And I was like, all right, this is a scam now, you know. So that made me start asking more questions, like,
Right.
how do you get paid? And so she started telling us her whole thing, and then I just was bold, and I was like, how much are you gonna get paid? And then she told me that number, and it wasn't even a lot. I think it was like $2,000 or $3,000, but no, it wasn't even that much. It was probably just like 8,000. But when she said that, I was like, okay, I want to do this because literally you just put us like, I was just thinking about the process we went through. Like, you had a sign out there, we called you, now you're about to make $1,000 off of us, and you just took us around to like 3 houses, and we're college kids. And I'm like, I know way more college kids than you, so I can do this left and right. I'm gonna probably have like 30 G's before the end of the month. So so I wanted to get in real estate. So she told me how to do it. Her office happened to offer real estate classes. And so I enrolled in real estate classes like the next week, talked the people into letting me do a payment plan because I couldn't afford it all
Right.
and pay for this little house that we were about to move into. but I enrolled in real estate classes, and by the second month, though, I had to drop out because I couldn't make the next payment.
Okay.
But I knew at that point, though, like this was what I wanted to do, and I got to make this work. So I ended up coming back to it in the future and became a licensed agent. But that's literally what made me want to get in real estate. Just that one little thing.
So now, how did that work out? You do all these colleges? Did you make that $30,000 in the first month? Like, how did that go?
No, because actually, like I couldn't even. Let's just say it took me 2 years before I got licensed from that moment. Two
Okay.
years, lots of just stuff happened in between. Ended up moving states because I was at college in a different state. Ended up coming back to Texas,
Okay.
and when I moved to Dallas, which I moved here not knowing anybody, not knowing anything about Dallas. This was probably the second time that I've been here in my whole life. And the first time was when I was a small child. So I decided like to up and pack all my shit and come to Dallas. And when I got here, I mean, literally the first thing that I did was enrolled in real estate school here because I had a little change saved up by that time from all the miscellaneous things I was doing over the last 2 years. And yeah, that's where it all started. Now, looking back, and I mean, I apologize if this is one of your questions, but
Go ahead.
looking back, this is probably one of those things that like I don't regret it because obviously it's I mean, I have a great real estate career now, but knowing all that I know now about real estate, I probably wouldn't have moved to a place that I know nothing about and that I don't know anybody in,
Yeah.
and try to start a real estate career. Now, I used to always think to myself, like, crap, if I would have just stayed over in Georgia and just, not picked up and moved, my real estate career probably could have, taken off because that's where my network of people was. That's where everybody who I knew, who I was partying with and making relationships, all that kind of stuff. But there was just a different plan for me. But I didn't just let it go and just not do it because I couldn't afford that second payment. Like I knew it was going to happen, and so I still pushed for it.
And I'm glad that you did,
Yeah.
because would we have ever met if you hadn't? I don't know. But
No.
I need Chastin in my life.
So good.
I saw Chastin before Chastin even knew I existed. There was an online realtor summit. I think it was in October. I don't even remember the name of it. And you had to pick and choose what you were going to watch, and you couldn't rewind, right? It was free, so you're not going to complain. And you had the video, and there's Chastin. I can't pause. I can't rewind. I can't do anything. So I'm trying to speed write everything he's talking about. And at that moment, I said, I got to learn from this guy. Fast forward, I end up meeting him in Vegas at a completely different, like I didn't even know he was going to be there. I couldn't get to him fast enough. And I was like, you're going to teach me.
That's awesome, man. I mean, you just never know how these things work out.
Let me tell you what, if anybody's watching this and you don't know, Chastin has a coaching program, Power Unit. You absolutely 100% have to go join that program if you want to be successful at anything. This guy's got the roadmap. Like, you need to go travel this road. Sorry, I had to say that. And I'm going to do like a screen share. I want to make sure everybody knows where to go to find Chastin.
Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that.
Are you kidding? Listen, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we talk just a little bit, before you came on, I was sitting here because there's no information on Chastin out there.
You gotta type in my whole name. You gotta do the full Chastin J Miles.
Is that what it was? I was missing the J.
Yeah,
I'll go back and do it.
It comes as a statement. So
it's a statement. Okay. Chastin J Miles.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love your signature. And I love that that's your cover photo everywhere. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I do want to kind of put the toe in a little bit about a difficult topic.
Okay.
And I was actually watching this video when you came on, you caught me watching it, but how much harder for you than you think it was simply because you're an African American?
Oh, snap, Carol. We
I
going
told you we was going to get raw. That's why I said,
there.
let's call it what it is.
You know, um, so here's the thing about that. Like growing up, we didn't have a lot of those conversations,
Yeah.
you know, as far as like racism goes, as far as prejudices goes. There wasn't a lot of that conversation growing up. And it wasn't because my mom or any of my family, it wasn't because they were trying to hide it or anything, or it wasn't because they were pretending like it didn't exist. We didn't live in that type of environment necessarily,
Okay.
where it was seen a lot,
Right.
basically. The people who I lived around, the people who lived in my apartment complex, the people who I was at school with, we were all Black, we were all Latino, we were all, there wasn't a lot of it.
Okay.
Um, it wasn't until when I moved to Georgia that I was really exposed to, just hidden prejudices and unconscious biases that people had, and even sometimes, people just blatantly saying things. I knew for me personally that I didn't ever feel like I was at like a disadvantage,
Okay.
but I knew for me that I didn't want to let that be a factor in anything, or like I didn't want it to affect the way that I did my stuff.
Right.
Now, knowing what I know now and navigating through this career, I have to be 100% real, because I've seen it now, and I've seen the differences that people display. I've seen the unconscious biases that people have that they don't necessarily realize that they have. I've seen the disadvantage, the situations where people have tried to put me at a disadvantage from other people, which I mean I've seen them just as close as a couple weeks ago, you know. And so I'm not going to say that they don't exist. Even on YouTube and like whatever, people can think what they want to about this. Even on YouTube, some of the comments that people will put under some of my videos, I know that they wouldn't say that to other people, just because I don't fit that typical, whether it's my attitude, whether it's my skin color, it could be my height, it can be the joke I crack, but I don't fit that typical mold of what they may think somebody at this point, or has this resume, or has
Right.
accomplished all of this, should fit. So no one will admit it. I've been called the N word in YouTube comments before, so it's definitely out there. I've shown up at people's doorsteps for a listing appointment, and they weren't expecting to see what they saw, because maybe my voice and my vocabulary or my tone was different over the phone. So it's 100% there. But the only thing that I have to keep telling myself is, yeah, it may take me longer. I may not have this same opportunity. I may not, be able to do this and that for whatever reason somebody else has, but it's not going to stop the ultimate plan that is here for me, that's already set out, that path is already laid out, and all I have to do is walk down it. And it's not the path that he has, it's not the path that she has, and it's going to be even bigger than anything that any of those people can offer me, because time and time again, every time that's happened, every time somebody has shut the door in my face, whether it was because I was Black or whatever it is, an even bigger door opens on the other side. So I don't even worry about it anymore.
See, oh my God, I want to hug you right now. This is why I love you, because you don't even care that somebody else is out there hating on you. You're like, yeah, go ahead, hate. Because every time you hate, I get 10 fields of love from this direction. So we're good. I love that about you. And I'm so glad that you didn't listen, I could sit here and be like, oh, I'm sorry forget them fools. I'm sorry that you had to endure that, and it sucks. It shouldn't be that way. It's 2020.
Yeah.
Can we let it go? That's what I'm like. Can we let it go? Like, why are we still mad? But I love you, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're successful. And listen, from my mouth to God's ears, I hope that you find yourself in a position where you're interviewing those fools for a job.
Well, I'm already there. They didn't, I mean, and Carol, this is real life. Like
Yeah.
this 100% real life to where, I've had people reach out to me and literally say the line oh, I didn't know who I was talking to, or, oh, such and such recommended you. And I was like, oh, that's that guy. Like I've literally had people say these words to me,
Wow.
and I've had to sit there and look at them, pretty much ask me if they can introduce me to somebody, if they could come on as a consultant, or if I can offer them a position, just all kinds of stuff. And I've had to sit there and look at them with a straight face, because knowing everything in me wanted to cuss them out and call them all kinds of stuff. I've had to sit there with a straight face and politely decline. But
Right.
it's just so amazing, and even for them to have the balls to do that after
Yo,
after
don't some people just have the biggest ones?
yeah.
Like, what you want
Right,
to be like, listen, do you know the balls it takes to walk in here and ask me for anything after you slam the door? Do you think I don't know you slammed the door in my face because I'm black? Are you kidding me right now?
right, right.
But
Yep.
that's true to who you are. And that's what I love about you. Like you're like,
Yeah.
no, we're good, but inside I know you had the last laugh. And so I'm so happy you shared that with us.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, this is literally real life,
Yeah, it is
and
real.
this is the stuff that a lot of people don't see, because this is. I mean, I don't necessarily get on YouTube talking about this, but it's
All
it
right.
yeah, like I'm just there to provide education and like value and
Yeah.
everything. But
And you do provide a lot of education.
yeah, but for like someone like me, and for any business owner, and you can read this in all types of business books, for the level of success that I've achieved so far, there had to be some struggles. There
Well,
had to be some letdowns. There had to be some doors slammed in my face, because if none of that would have happened, I wouldn't appreciate the people who follow me. I wouldn't appreciate or want to take the time out to share things to others, to put these coaching programs together. Like I tell people all the time, like it's not just about money. Like it's so true for me to do what I do on YouTube, on Power Unit, I mean within Power Unit, on Instagram, because I want people to not necessarily go through those things that I went through, because most
right.
times they're unneeded. And it can be as simple as a broker just lying to you. I'm the one that's going to tell you that's not true. You don't even need to listen to that. I mean, from a small scale to a big scale, like it's a lot.
Yeah. What does a day what does your day look like? I did watch one of your like day in the, day
Yeah.
in the life, so to speak. What does that look like now? Is it the same, or is it busier? Is it more time blocking? Is it less real estate, more consultant? Like what does that look like now for you?
Yeah, I am just as busy as I was when I was a solo agent managing, 6, 10 deals a month. It's just a different type of busy,
Yeah.
because I'm not doing these same activities. It's a different level of busy too. So my day starts out at 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. is when I typically have my staff meeting. So this is just the people who run my office, just staff. Then at 9, I typically have a team meeting. So that's when I'm on there with my team, and we have a different theme of our meetings for whatever day of the week it is, but that typically lasts an hour. One day a week it does go 2 hours. So
Okay.
I'll get off of that. That's when I have my power hour. So that's the hour that I block out that's undisturbed, and I just make my calls. So I follow up with past clients, referral partners, people who are here in my network. Me, I don't do a lot of soliciting for just like random business. So Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff. We run them, but all of those deals go to my agents. And so my power hour is that time for me to be building those big corporate relationships with
Yeah.
people and taking care of past clients. After that,
Because I bet every door in Dallas opens for you now.
yeah. um,
I bet you call and they're like, Chastin J Miles is on the phone, and whoever's like, I'll take that call, put it right through.
yeah, yeah. You're so silly. Something like that. Uh, and then, so after my power hour, I will normally do the coaching call. So I'll do those for an hour. So like on Monday we have power unit.
Yep.
And then I have individual coaching calls for other things too. So I'll do those for an hour. That'll typically take me to lunchtime. I don't really because of everything that's going on right now, like I haven't been out during lunches, but typically every day I have a lunch meeting with somebody, and this is on purpose. But I have my lunch meetings; those are out. Then I'm back at the office, and I return phone calls for around 15-30 minutes. So George, my office admin, will have a stack of like calls that I have to return, but he's really good about weeding out the ones that I don't. So I will return those calls. What do I do after that? Then I do an hour's worth of content. So I'll record videos. I'll do whatever needs to be done. Like Brendan, he's my like what do you call it? Like content person. So
Okay.
if he
So he's
tells me,
gonna edit it and add your tags and all that stuff.
yeah, so if he tells me, hey, we need to take some pictures for Instagram, or we need to, make a video about this or whatever. So we'll get that done at that time. I'm firing off emails. After that, I have like a block of like an hour to an hour and a half of like I'm literally sitting here looking at my stuff.
I see you looking down. I was like, dang, he's got his whole life written down right there.
No, yeah, I have to. Like, I can't keep all this in my mind. I used to be able to, but not anymore.
And
Then
let me tell you what, I'm a little bit older than you. You think it's bad now? Wait 10 years.
no,
Like
so
I'm in the kitchen now. I'm like, what did I come in here for? Oh, right, I needed some
right,
water. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's crazy.
yeah. So then after that, I will have a block of. So I have my calendar, kind of public, but kind of not public. But people who
Yeah,
need to know it know where it is. So people are able to go and book times on my calendar, but I control it on the admin side for certain time blocks to be able to be booked. So typically every day that whole block is booked with different meetings that
right.
people have set with me. Not all, I mean, some may be agents, some may be referral partners, some may be. I have two other businesses that I'm kind of partnered with and co-founded on.
Oh,
So it can be those meetings.
whoa, whoa, stop. You can't just blow past that. Like you didn't just say what you just said. What do you, what, wait, what do you mean you have two other businesses that you've helped co-found?
Yeah, I mean, it's just diversification.
I don't know. Please tell us what types of businesses are these?
Yeah, so just without saying too much right now on
Okay.
one of them is a software company, and
Okay.
the other one is a gifting company that everyone will hear something about here very soon.
Yes, something about that buzzed a couple weeks back. So I'm looking forward to that one. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just
Oh
like,
no, you're good.
you
You're
can't just
good.
be dropping bombs. Like, I'm not here to listen.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
See that
Um,
my listening skills.
so I will do those. You're so good. So I'll do those, and keep in mind, like during this whole time. So like the only time where I'm just like off limits is my power hour. So
Okay.
even though all this other stuff is going on, because I do work out of the office every day, my door is just literally revolving, and everybody knows to kind of just like put like a little note down or like whatever
Okay.
is needed. So there's literally a pile of just requests from just staff and team and all that kind of stuff. So those calls and everything and meetings will normally end around 3. And so from 3 to like 6 or 7, it's getting everything else done that is kind of piled up during the day. I normally don't go on appointments that late,
Okay.
and I don't have meetings because there's a lot of still like work that has to be done.
Yep.
And I'll typically handle that in the afternoon. The reason why I do that is because I know most places close at 5, and so anything that just has to be done before the end of the business day, I just like to get it done before 5, so it doesn't have to carry over. But
yeah,
that's my day in a nutshell. I would say my mornings are a lot more organized than my evenings, just because mornings for me are more so of a routine, and the evenings and afternoons are more so time blocks. So just blocks of time where I'll allow certain things, but I don't necessarily know what I'm doing during that time, who I'm talking to, all that kind of stuff, because it's literally and you're gonna literally see this. Well, you probably can't see, but so an appointment will be on my calendar. I have to go down to the notes, and
all
that's where
right,
I'm able to like see what this call is about. What
okay,
is, what are we gonna be talking about on it?
right.
Um, Anything that has to be prepared for it, George will already have ready for me. But I'm literally glancing at this 30 minutes prior to the call to see how I need to prepare myself. But
Right.
I
Oh,
have,
I'd love to read the notes for this.
yeah. I will say though, honestly, a lot of the things that I do now, especially do them at a high level, I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have my staff.
Yeah,
If and everybody's so good at their jobs at this point. And that's why I have so many people, because I would rather everyone do their job really great than to have one person, two people overwhelmed by trying to do all these different things.
yeah.
So everybody collaborates, and it pretty much funnels up in the right way to where it allows me to operate at the level that I need to operate at.
Which is a very high level.
Yeah.
He's like that.
Yeah.
So I just want to pause for a minute and just say, hey, I see a couple of you watching. Paul, I see you out there. Chastin will take questions if anybody has any questions. He's on the hot seat today. He told me no, nothing was off limits. So bring it. Making you blush. It's so cute. You're like, oh man.
It's so funny. Yeah.
So is there, I mean, I hear you saying there's a couple of companies. Is there like one thing that is like the next thing you're like, this is what I really want to accomplish? Like that right there.
No, I'm really excited about this gifting company.
I'm excited about this gifting company too, if I gotta say it.
I'm so excited about this because I previously, before I started working with the technology company, I wasn't even in that field. I didn't, I'm not a coder or nothing, and I don't know how to write programs or develop apps and stuff. But when you step into a company and you see how it's ran, there's only like two or three people that's doing that stuff, that's doing all the like serious coding and development and this and that. Like everybody else they're mostly just like input, and it's the normal kind of things that you have at like other companies. So you have like the marketing department, you have branding, you have all that kind of stuff in accounting. And so when I finally kind of like stepped into that, I was like, wait, this is just ran, just like a normal company. I just need to hire on a developer to develop the, technical side of things, but I can do this. And so with this company, I found just like a huge need in the real estate industry, and partnered that with the exposure that I had with the software company and my mind and knowing how I work and how I've built teams just within my organization. I was like, I'm going to do this and it's going to be great. And this is honestly a very exciting project to me. I mean, for me, because it's something that's not being done, and everyone who's tried to do it has failed at it because they're not actually in the industry. And so they don't know exactly
But it's
what's
always,
needed,
it amazes me how everybody wants to sell us real or something.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
many emails do I get a week? So they want to sell me this, they want to sell me that, they want to sell, and none of them actually work in this field. Like, how do
Yeah.
you don't even have secondhand information. You watched a blog and you said, I'm going to go sell a bunch of realtors this. That's not how this works. So you're right. I think a lot of things fail because people are like, I'm going to tell them how to do it. Man, if you ain't a mile.
Even some of these coaches out here that agents are buying into, some of them have never even sold a piece of real estate. It blows my mind, you
Right.
know.
And
But
they know how to mine. Like one of the biggest mistakes I made was I bought a lead source when I first, got into it. And it was stupid because, all I did was have somebody else mine information for me. But they had no clue what to do with it after the fact. Well, and I didn't realize that literally all they were going to get me was an email.
yeah,
Like that's it. And and I'm like paying hundreds of dollars for this. And I was like, oh my God, if there was one piece of advice I could give any new realtor watching this, please don't waste your money on that.
yeah,
What would be your advice? Oh,
gotcha.
Chastin's spend your money on Chastin. That's where you want to, if you want to be successful, follow that guy.
Yes, yes. Follow me. I'll help you.
Yes. What would be your biggest piece of advice to a new realtor?
I would say focus on what's important. The biggest downfall that I see with a lot of agents is they are trying to do so many things all at the same time, and
Right.
it's like I'm trying to set up this and I'm trying to buy this and I feel like I need this and I need that. And a lot of times people, they don't focus on the one important thing that you need, which is business,
Which is
and
right.
and honestly, the only thing you need to get business is this. All that other stuff is extra.
It's
And
fluff.
so people, including myself, when I first got in, I spent so much money and so much time trying to invest in this and learn this and oh, do I need this certification and do I need this and what does this line mean, and
Right.
do all that and spend so much time doing that, and then you notice 3-6 months down the line you say, okay, I think I'm ready now,
Right.
and you're looking around and there's nothing there
Nothing.
because the one important thing that you didn't do was generate business.
Right. And
So
you know, and there's a lot of little things like I could go down. Like I have like a list of stuff that nobody told me about when I was getting my license, which not that it would stop me from getting my license, but situational awareness is a thing. And it
yeah,
would have been nice if someone had told me that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like you just, if you're not, because the business that you're generating today, right, is business for 3 months from now.
exactly. Tell people
So
that all the time.
you
Yep.
have to constantly be putting something in that funnel. If you let the top of that funnel dry out and you're just pulling it out of the bottom of the funnel, eventually there's going to be nothing left because you didn't keep building. You have to keep building. I love you for that lesson.
Yep. Yep. And Carol, unfortunately, like realtors are the easiest, the
Oh,
easiest bait for so many things out there.
right.
You pull that carrot in front of realtors, like, oh yeah, this is gonna get you leads, or oh yeah, this is gonna get you more closings, or oh yeah, you need this because of whatever. Like, and we fall for everything because it just sounds good, like you just get somebody who's trained in sales and they can probably sell us a pack of pens for a very high price, just
Because it's the magical pen.
yeah, because we are such an easy target for a lot of things because most realtors and I mean, these are public statistics, they don't make a lot of money, and oftentimes strapped for cash. So a lot of decisions that are made from a realtor are made out of desperation, are made out of scarcity. Like it's horrible.
It's hard.
And not a lot of people, even like that lead source that you said you purchased. Yeah, they were selling you, oh yeah, we'll generate you leads, but still that didn't equal you making money because they weren't teaching you how to make money. All these things that are being sold to agents, they're not teaching you how to make money.
Nope. And the thing is like, if this isn't an easy career, like I know there's people out there who are like, oh yeah, I'll just go sell real estate. That's easy. It's really not. Like this is a lot of work. So if you're looking for like some magical elixir career that's going to make you a billionaire with no work, this is not it.
I wouldn't advise it.
I wouldn't advise it, right? I don't even have as many years experience as you have. And I know like this is not a magical elixir type of career. This isn't it. That's funny. So how many real estate agents do you think that you currently have coached successfully? Like because I know you have more outside of your coaching program. Like, how many people do you think you're helping build a good career, roughly?
Shit, Carol, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we may be close to well, I'll count like everything because I also do a lot of in-person stuff with certain people. I also have my network at EXP
Yeah.
where I'm helping those agents, and then I have Power Unit, and then all those other programs. I mean, the number is in the hundreds at this point. But slow but steady. Even with like Power Unit, I had Power Unit for probably about a year before I actually like made it public, because I wanted it to be like a little private thing to see if I can actually help somebody. Just because I know how to do something doesn't mean I can necessarily help somebody else do it, and I can't just tell them how to do it. So like I started with like a little test group with which I had for a whole year, and they were paying me. They were still paying me, even though that I was kind of testing it out on them. So I had to even learn things before I started coaching, like how to take someone down a path, and and how to truly help somebody, how to hold somebody accountable. Even when I started branching out into building a team, like there were so many things that I had to learn that were more CEO level things, just to like really be able to feel comfortable enough within myself to help somebody else, to really take somebody by the hand, and then add on them paying me. Like, I don't want anybody to like go around saying anything that I do is BS or try to help them, it's not legit or anything like that. So I really invest in knowledge and making sure that I can help somebody else do what I've done.
Well, I would like to just be a testament that you have. I actually shared my screen. I want everybody to see. If you go to learn.chastinjmiles.com, you will find his coaching program. There's a lot of fun information on here. If you go to the bottom, it's $97 a month, well spent money. So stop running around and looking for those magical elixir things. There's your magical elixir. I shared it with you. Just got to be willing to put in the work.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry I had to do that. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're
So
good.
your brothers, what are your brothers doing? You have two younger brothers. What are they doing? Do they work for you or work with you? Or did they go
No,
different?
no. No, one of them lives still. I mean, he still lives down in Houston, and
Okay.
the other one is in college right now. So
Okay.
yeah,
So whatever happened to you in college? You just left, went, became a realtor, and that's it, right?
I got bored. Yeah,
You
no.
got
I mean, for me, and I know there's a lot of other people out there like this. Like, I just wasn't a college person. I just wasn't a college person.
and just
So it just didn't work out for me.
when you look back over all of your accomplishments, is there one thing that you're like, that's the one thing I'm the most proud of?
Yeah, building my real estate team.
Yeah.
Something serious happens when you start putting people on salary,
Okay.
and when you're kind of leading them in a direction, knowing that their family's livelihood and
Mhm.
their livelihood is at stake, and really adding on more and more people, making sure people like blend well, and making sure there's a good culture, and when you can just bring all of that together, and you look at it, like you can stand in a corner, in the back of the room, and like watch this group of people that you've brought together, and watch and look around and see you're in this office that you pay for, and see that direct deposit go out, and
Yeah.
hosting employee and team events, like, and knowing that, damn, I was the one that did all of this. Like, it continues to make me proud. I mean, this is the one thing, and that group of people, they motivate me so much, because I can keep accomplishing this for myself. And when we were at at that conference in Vegas that you heard me speak at, someone from the audience asked me, you know, like when you've made something happen, or like when you had an accomplishment, like where do you know like where to go from there, or something along those lines. And for me, not that I'm ungrateful or anything, it's like, yeah, like, okay, yeah, that was great, but now, you know, what's next? Okay, yeah, that was great, but now what's next? And you start accomplishing things, and then like the awards start to become stale. You're like, oh, it's another award, and like, oh, now I got to get another thing, now I got to get another plaque. And you know, first one was cool, a few of them that come after that are cool, but then all that stuff starts becoming old. And so for me, that group of people that I'm able to walk into every day, and people that we've been adding on, like it's just forever motivating. Like it's so fresh, like every single day and every week. And when I have an agent who has their first closing, and you know, they're just the most excited person in the world, like,
Yeah.
man, girl, I'm telling you,
They got that check coming now, baby.
yeah, it's so good. I love it.
Well, I really, really, really appreciate you coming and doing this with me tonight. I don't know about you, but I've had a blast getting to know you a little better.
For sure.
Is there
Yeah,
any
you've asked some questions that no one's ever asked me before.
My job is done.
Yeah.
When I stumped you, I knew I had. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, is anything off limits, right? That'll make you think next time somebody says that, right? You'll be like, well,
I know. And for everyone watching, she didn't send me this list of questions ahead of time or anything. So
nope. I sure didn't. I let them go in blind. Well, because I said unscripted, like, nah, man, we're not going to practice. And I appreciate, listen, you answered every single one of them like a champ, and I really, really appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts for anybody who's watching?
Final thoughts. I mean, you know, just like keep at it. Just keep at it. If you're new and it's not working out, and you know, I know we're in some like difficult times and everything, but that's the biggest lesson that I've learned in this career, because there's been so many times where I wanted to give up and like literally thought to myself, like, why am I even doing this? I can go make a lot of money somewhere else. I can do a lot of other things, but I know that this is what I'm meant to do. Whatever this ends up being,
right?
Literally, whatever this ends up being, I'm meant to be here. And another piece of advice that I want to tell people is don't be small-minded with this.
Yes.
Because like, oh my gosh, I mean, we can all just be real estate agents. We can all just unlock doors for the rest of our working lives. Right. But I'm one that can confidently say, like, this career, if you do things the right way and you don't think so small-minded, it can open up so much for you that you would have never even imagined.
Man, I'm looking to be right next to you where everything opened up because you opened my mind. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you coming here tonight. This has been so much fun. Thank you for answering our crazy questions.
Anytime.
I'm Carol with Remax, member of Team First Day Properties. You can find me everywhere. Just search Carol with Remax. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, obviously YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Please like the video. Go subscribe to Chastin's channel. He's got his own channel. He's got so many videos on there that are very helpful for realtors. And if you have any questions, I'm sure he'll answer them. Just send him a DM.
Yep. For
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks, Chastin. Bye.